Hello, Mike House here. Sunday night is one of my favorite times of the week because my favorite show comes on, 60 Minutes. A few years ago, they celebrated 50 seasons and they had Oprah on as a guest correspondent. One of the shows that she hosted was on childhood trauma. And the key takeaway was when you see someone that is troubled, the question shouldn't be, what's wrong with you? But rather, what happened to you? Generally speaking, people don't act out or misbehave just for the fun of it. No, there was an event or events, I should say, that has caused them to behave in that way. Now, in a more recent segment, they highlighted the high rate of homelessness in Seattle, Washington. And this is being driven by the corporate growth in the city. The housing cost has skyrocketed because of it. And many of the individuals that were included on this segment fall into that category, even though they have full-time jobs. They just can't afford housing. And as I reflected on that segment, Oprah's show from a few years ago came to mind. Just think about it. What thought comes to mind when you see someone in that state? Now, your first thought could be of gratitude because as Walter Hawkins wrote several years ago, it could have been me outdoors with no food and no clothes. But in all honesty, the next thought is probably along the lines of, what's wrong with them? It's an unconscious bias. And if you're human with a brain, you deal with unconscious bias. Now, generally speaking, that might not be your thought towards homeless people, but anyone that is acting in an abnormal way. What's wrong with them? You see, we tend to respond based on our experience, and we say, well, if I can do it, they can do it. And there is some truth to that statement because all things are possible. But before we go there, we must show empathy. Because we don't know what has caused them not to succeed, misbehave, or be unpleasant. So the next time you see someone struggling, let the thought or the question be, what happened to you? Because it shows you care, and that's what makes the difference. Thanks for joining.